probably pick up. We left off like dead in the middle of a high-speed chase, as we may recall.
I recall.
Just to go over the party, I guess. Help me fill in any blanks here, but I believe you guys arrived. You, Kaiser and Yuris approached DeWitt for a tour, and they went over some of the artifacts, and eventually he led you back to the deck of horrors, which is like the centerpiece. And then I believe the topic shifted to, oh, that's right, he was accosted by Gage about where all of his funds came from in his collection. He said that he won most of it with gambling and wise investments. And then Yuris suggested that you start some gambling startup. And so he put together a card game with Yuris and Kaiser, as well as Hinge and a few other non-tokeny NPCs. And while the game was going on, I believe Tony chatted up Lilix, the let's go with cat burglar, and came to an understanding with her. So as the card game was going on, Tony, I think he witnessed her trying to break into a case, and then later, Kaiser, what was your plan? Do you remember that? To make the to execute the heist and get the chalice?
A bomb. I made a bomb out of dice. To turn
No!
dice
You made a bomb in a public place?
I made a bomb and it blew up, and nobody got hurt. That's the important part.
So,
That one security guard got hurt. The one standing in front of the door.
Yeah, he got thrown off a balcony. Yeah, I
landed through a
believe
glass table.
Tony identified the office where all the cameras were recording to. So Kaiser provided him with his magic, his bone dice that would explode. And with Lilix's help, Tony was able to get into the office/server room, destroy their computer, and then in return for this, I think he deleted the footage of her breaking into the case. That was the deal. And then the man was thrown over the balcony, which broke open the glass, and that allowed Agathorn to snatch up the chalice. Meanwhile, in the game room, this was all synchronized with Yuris scoring the winning hand, where he wagered his grimoire up against the deck itself, which I guess we're going to go into the fiction that the grimoires are like a big goddamn deal to each mage.
Yep.
And Yuris was victorious. He collected the deck. He used his little portal thing to teleport it. So, Cody, me and Brett were talking about earlier. Was that the end point of the portal? Was just your 12 goons or whatever in their SUV? Or was there some other arrangement that we had?
No, yeah, that was correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I believe Agathorn did the same thing. So, right now in the fiction, the chalice, Yuris's grimoire, if it matters, and the deck are all presumably in the back of the SUV being driven by your goons. Do they have a name, by the way? Or will we just keep calling them the goons?
I think they were like Kaiser's disciples or something. Let me find it.
Your inquisitors.
Yeah, this just says Kaiser's disciples. They are my disciples. My inquisitors.
Inquisitors is good.
Yeah.
Although, wait, because Agathorn is a junior inquisitor, and, and he's in like.
They are inquisitor recruits.
So what's below junior?
Recruit inquisitors. we can posthumously award Agathorn
inquisitors.
He's not dead.
We can make him a full-fledged inquisitor if it makes more sense that way.
No,
it's
Inquisitor
He's a
Agathorn.
petty officer inquisitor.
Yeah. He outranks them. They're all inquisitors, but he outranks them.
Okay.
Although he's a junior inquisitor.
Okay, so
He's like Junior Inquisitor Supreme.
petty inquisitor.
Supreme commander. How many adjectives can we shimmy in there? Okay, and then I think how many? Just because it's probably gonna come up this game. Was
how
8,
many?
10? Did we agree on?
For the amount of them?
Yeah.
Is 10.
10. So
yeah, a solid round 10.
How do they get around? Are they in probably 2 SUVs? I'm guessing.
Yeah, 2 SUVs.
Or a little Winnebago, maybe.
two Inquisitor SUVs.
Okay. All right. So presumably the gear is in one of those. The loot is in one of those vehicles. So yeah, you made your exit in the evacuation because a bomb went off, but not before DeWitt made some not so veiled threats that you should be careful getting home. And true to his word, about halfway back, after you had contacted to make the handoff, you were T-boned by DeWitt's rapid response team. And I think you got pushed up on the sidewalk. They kicked in the window. So Brett distracted him with like a wind elemental. And that bought you some time to get Tony back awake. And then they booted open the window and they were like had their guns trained on you. But then Tony made them pause by going live and on the air, which afforded time for an unknown benefactor, pictured on the screen, to roll up in his sweet truck and evacuate you in the nick of time. And then you looked out the back and you saw that the guys, because I think the elemental's kind of like, because you can just keep it as long as you want, I believe. So the elemental is like indefinitely kind of suspending these, like half of these dudes, the other half of them pick themselves up and get in an SUV, and you're now being chased by half of this force. So like 5 dudes or something like that. And now you're in a high-speed chase, roaring through the relatively derelict section of the city. You were heading towards the new Chicago Bridge, but you would probably have diverted. Well, actually, it's kind of up to the driver at this point. But right now he's just trying to get away. And I believe you 3 were in the cab and maybe one in the passenger seat, and Agathorn threw himself in the back and like pulled like a little metal door thing over him. And for the sake of communication, we'll say, like this car's like the rear seat like pops open, and you can like reach back in the trunk. We'll say there's that in case you need to hand Agathorn anything. But he's like tucked in the back of the truck underneath like a metal sliding door type of an affair.
Okay.
So yeah,
Tony is not in the habit of accepting rides from strangers, but this one is welcome.
Also, we should address
Tony would like to get out.
We should address the driver who was left behind.
I wasn't even gonna get in the car with you guys. I had my own way out.
We should also address the driver real quick. Just who was driving your car that was left behind?
Who was I think we agreed before it was Agathorn, and then people got upset that I had Agathorn driving the car, and then I think he just became a driver.
Okay, so
it was like
it was our driver that was driving already. It wasn't Agathorn, but then he got like knocked
I think
out or something
normally,
in the crash, and then Agathorn climbed over him.
Yeah.
So to that, I'll say normally Agathorn drives the car, except in this case when Agathorn was going to be attending the party. So we just got like he was like a temp driver. He was like
okay. So he is just a nameless dock worker who is
who's not going home. He's
left
not
to
going
the
home to his
mercy of
family.
Vertex Force Solutions rapid response team.
What a fool.
We'll deal with that later. And yeah, I believe Tony, when he threw Live and on the air for the second roll to escape the response team, he chose that it would irritate the targets. So I think we'll roll into that is why they are chasing you with such fervor right now.
They got a call on the horn. Grab me those punks.
I need pictures of Spider-Man.
Tony's report was well, no, I was gonna say Tony like gives a knowing look to the camera, but there was no time. Plus, I'd just woken up from being unconscious.
Does Tony? Was it like? Does he also have a like camera, or is it just this whole thing is on his eyeglasses?
I like him having both. His
sunglasses
can record, but he also has like a camera. He can point at stuff.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it'd be so weird if like they kick open the window and Tony's like got his hand on his glasses, like you're on candid camera.
There's like a little red recording dot next to his sunglasses. Yeah. They're like, that's not as intimidating.
I think he's got a little handheld too. That's it's sleek and portable, but obviously it isn't allowed in the party. It's left in the vehicle, so perfect.
T&D standard issue. Oh, speaking of, Tony is still broadcasting live and on the air this high-speed chase.
You're live streaming the chase.
He is. He's sort of. This is. I was gonna buckle up and play it safe, but this is Tony's livelihood on the line here.
Yeah.
So
He's been training for
out
this
the
his whole
window.
life.
Yeah, he like half climbs out the window and starts pointing the camera back at the guys chasing us.
Oh my god, it's like while you're driving, you're like hanging out the window and pointing.
And then he occasionally points the camera at his face so that he can do commentary. But yeah, he starts spinning this narrative that like Africanized art thieves are going wild in downtown. A private security contract hired by an unknown mega corporation.
He's just rolling with the Africanized art thieves now?
I guess.
I thought that was like the misinterpretive narrative.
But
Because I believe, so I think the way we'll handle the story clock is it can kind of like, you can shape it as you go. I think it's kind of silly that you have to like declare the exact story when you start the clock. So basically we just have a loosely formed story right now that you're trying to expose DeWitt and take him down.
private contract team is breaking all the rules, disobeying the public trust.
Yeah. So basically,
possibly
like,
with links to DeWitt after this
exactly.
party that we just came from.
So I like that how that'll play. Like basically, you just collect evidence that in one way or another damns your target, and you can just shape it as you go. So
I try to zoom in on their uniform, see if there's any markings on them.
Yeah. You would definitely pick up it is Vertex Force Solutions, which per your snooping earlier, that is DeWitt's on-call response team.
Oh, a team known to have ties with Booker DeWitt.
His name isn't Booker.
Oh.
We could call him that anyway.
They call him the Booker.
I don't know, I just the name DeWitt popped into my head. And I'm like, cool. When I was like, oh, it's a guy in like a sharp-looking vest, and I'm like, oh wait, that's why that name came to me. It was fucking Bioshock.
Well, anyways, so I keep ties to DeWitt. That's what Tony's doing. Are they pointing guns at us, or what are the people chasing us doing?
For the moment, we're in high-speed chase mode, where it's just you're like
they're shaking their fists.
And...
How far are we from the nearest African embassy?
How far would you like to be?
This guy picked this up?
Yes, he is a dwarf, and he looks relatively young.
Can he reach the pedals?
Yeah, his car is adjusted so he can drive it.
Oh, he's just got like the super low seat.
Yeah. And I guess I'll amend that. His car's adjusted so you can drive it, and drive it fucking well. He is, like, this is a proper chase. This isn't just like some dude panicking and getting you out of there.
Oh, okay, neat.
Yeah, he's like weaving in and out of traffic, like skidding around corners, like all that good stuff.
Ooh.
Every high-speed chase you've seen in a cool movie. It's happening.
I get a nice shot of us running a red light. Two trucks are about to like crisscross.
Yeah. And then you have to edit it later so you don't break the law.
Oh yeah. It was yellow.
Those two trucks broke the law. That almost hit us.
What did Cody ask? Where the African congregation is?
No, the nearest African embassy.
Well, I believe you were in like a kind of like derelict, like empty part of the city. So I think something like that is probably a sufficient distance away that action will need to be taken to lose your pursuers. To put it lightly, yeah.
Eurus, any ideas?
I point the driver towards the nearest superhighway and I say, "Take us there."
He looks at you. So you're in the back seat, or who's up in the front with him? I'm assuming it's one in the front, two in the back.
I'm like halfway leaning out the window.
Yeah.
I could be in the front.
Okay.
I'm in the front.
Okay. So yeah, he looks back at Tony and says, "Okay," and he he like hangs like a hard left and starts making his way towards the highway.
Whoa! Tony hangs on.
Hang on, Tony.
Camera almost flies out of his hands. I can see my viewer count skyrocket.
Is he live streaming or just recording?
Mm-hmm. He is live streaming.
Ooh, this is very exciting. Yeah, so I think he blasts through a couple of red lights, and these dudes are just staying on him. And yeah, he gets to the on-ramp, starts like rolling up and just picking up speed. As best you guys can tell, your pursuing vehicle is approximately evenly matched as far as horsepower goes. Although it seems like your dwarf here has a bit of an edge when it comes to actual driving of the vehicle. But all the same, like it's you're driving down open highway, open roads in the middle of the night. It ultimately just comes down to power of the vehicle. So, yeah, you pull up onto the highway, rapidly floor it up to 70, 80, 90, 100. The truck behind you is like, keep it up.
What is the nearest thing in the truck that I can hurl behind this? Soda?
There's definitely no weapons or tools or anything.
I throw an orb of fire at them.
Oh,
There we go.
That'll give Tony the views he needs.
Yeah. All right, so you like climb out the window on the other side, and yeah, let's
Yeah.
let's roll. Oh,
Don't worry,
shit!
Tony. I got you.
All right, so
Tony was reaching around. He grabbed like a handful of napkins. You know? Like, oh, damn.
the napkins go through the fireball and light up, and
Oh,
all right, let's just real quick. I just want to look at the book and see you.
Is this Rift Magic? It is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you get a bonus right when you hit a 12
Yeah,
plus.
because of Grimoire.
Yeah, so what's that?
When you roll 12 plus, I can
Ooh.
choose a second effect to apply.
Cool.
Yeah, I want it to be an orb of fire and electricity. No. Magnetism?
Is effect the element, or is it a?
No. Wait. Effect. I can't tell how this is written. Just a second. You create a shape of effect. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be or effect.
No, yeah, effect is you get different element. So yeah, so it's gonna be fire and magnetism.
Yeah, let's
yeah,
do
ray,
that.
orb, dart.
Absolutely.
What about a
Just an
slick?
orb.
What about a
You could do
slick?
slick. It could be a slick. That's what I was
Crazy
thinking.
fireball.
What would generate more views for like a giant magnetic fire orb flying at them, or them like slicking on like some slippery oil or something?
Slippery electric fire oil.
Is oil a thing in there?
No, a slick, but
Oh, it could be acid.
fire, gaseous fire magnetism.
I don't know. How is that?
We'll just do an orb of fire and magnetism. Just, I'm thinking really quickly, so I like
Okay.
pop my head out of the vehicle and I just throw one of my orbs at
Fuck
the
yeah.
at the pursuing vehicles. The orb just like lights ablaze and then like begins to like, as it flies past the car, the pursuing car, like it's dragged back and its momentum kind of like slows down and it just like bursts aflame or something.
Yeah, I like that. It causes the truck to it like does a donut kind of like it does like a 180.
There's multiple cars chasing us, yeah?
It's just the one. Though the other one's like farther back. You haven't seen it yet.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I think with a fucking 13, I think like you flip the goddamn car. Is there like harm attached to this shit?
Yeah.
'Cause I need to check vehicle stats. Like, will 2 harm just like take out a big truck?
Wait, I get to pick an adjunct as well? So
Yes.
greater, so I do +1 harm. Since it's only one truck following us.
Yeah.
So that should do 2 harm. Because it does 1 harm already. Because the effect causes 1 harm, and then if I pick greater, it does +1 harm.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like. So vehicles don't have health; they just have armor. Double check on that. Yeah, so vehicles they don't actually have health listed. They only have armor, and this thing has 2 armor. So if you're dealing 2 damage to harm, it's not actually damaging the truck, but it is absolutely like ceasing its pursuit. So I think what happens is like the thing so the fire like splashes up on the windshield, and the magnetism like hauls it backwards, so it like fishtails like all over the road, and probably like takes out like another car or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing like goes down in a ditch, and you've effectively lost this car, I think.
Perfect. Oh no, did I hurt his viewers?
They're like cheering for blood. They're like, finish it!
Yeah, I like pull my head back into the car, kind of lean back, let out a gasp, and say, "How was that, Tony?"
Hi.
How many thumbs is he getting?
Tony wraps up his broadcast, I guess. The humanity. Oh, you said they swerved into some civilians? Oh my god, such devastation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this like a huge SUV like fishtailing around the road on like one of the major highways in the city. There's definitely like a major accident going on behind you.
Oh yeah. Tony films it as we zoom away from the scene. But, and I don't know, we probably see some other vehicles zoom towards the scene for emergency response. But
yeah, so not long after, you definitely see like lights up in the sky. Not after you, but like helicopters going to the scene of the crash.
Yeah, I'll take a page from the Persona non grata narrative and film the devastation that these games of the mega corporation have wreaked upon human or upon the common folk.
Rise up, common folk.
What does Tony's like narration go like? Because the few
He
times
has an accent.
I was gonna say like when we do hear you in character as Tony, it's a lot of like I barely speak English, so like how does Tony narrate a piece?
Very seriously. He takes this work super seriously, right?
And it's entirely in Japanese.
He looks like a serious Japanese businessman reporting the news.
So he speaks like slowly and deliberately.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's no Chad Bacon. He's not like he's got no razzle dazzle.
So I think unless you toss any more instruction to your driver, his instincts will kick in and he'll immediately get off the highway and start trying to because presumably you guys be like they'll be looking for this vehicle that caused this big accident. So he's trying to get off the road and get out of public eye. And then we'll say that maybe he takes a couple goes around a couple twists and turns and blocks, and he'll pull into some semi-secluded parking lot or something. Yeah, he stops the truck, puts it in park, just and looks back at you guys.
What was your name, young man? It appears we owe you a debt of sorts.
So yeah, you ask him his name, and he looks over at you, Kaiser, and he deflates just a little bit, but not. He's not heart crestfallen or anything. He's like, oh.
Oh fuck.
You guess you don't remember.
Have we
me.
met?
Yeah, I guess you don't remember me. And then I'm Torque. We've met a few times. I'm Sandella's son.
Oh, of course, Torque.
Would you like to roll to remember Torque, or do you just want to? Do you remember Torque, or how do you want that to go? It's up to you. It's
Kaiser did not remember Torque.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless he's of significance. If he's just Sandella's son, it's very unlikely that Kaiser paid any mind.
I think it would be kind of how much do you want to play up your relationship with Sandala before?
No. No.
So
yeah.
Sandal is just a coworker. Maybe you met Torque maybe once or twice at like like whatever Congregation of Drak like company parties might be like. He probably came with her once or twice. Let's get some deets on Torque real quick.
So Torque, not to look a gift horse in the mouth or anything, but what were you doing out there in that part of town?
Well, when you went to see my mom, I kinda listened in, and I don't know, like, you might have fooled her, but she didn't fool me. Like, I knew what you guys were doing out there. I know an op when I hear one. And, well, I just kind of followed you.
Oh, you want some sort of cut? You want a piece of the action? Is that it?
No, like, this is your job. Just, I don't know, just, you guys might be able to use a driver, someone like me, if you do this kind of thing a lot.
It turns out I'm short one driver due to recent circumstances.
Oh, you mean we didn't get everyone?
We got everyone.
Everyone that matters.
Well, I hate to sort of rain on our parade. Kaiser checks his watch, but we do have a meeting quite shortly.
Oh yeah. The handoff, right? Yeah, where is that? I can take you guys there.
It's fuck. Where was it? It's under the bridge. It's under a bridge.
New Chicago
It's under a bridge. It's under New Chicago Bridge. If you could take it. Do you have a phone car, perchance?
Oh,
A
hold
car
on.
phone.
Tony has a very serious look, and he like interjects because he knows, and he will tell you in his Japanese accent too, that in this Sprawl, nothing is free. What's Torque's angle?
I mean, Kaiser, you don't remember my dad. I just kind of want to be an op like he was, that's all. Mom didn't want me to. So when I heard you guys going out, I thought this would be my chance. I guess it turns out I was right.
Tony looks to Kaiser because he doesn't know how to.
I
I mean-
certainly show up
Exactly.
at a very opportune moment.
I
So-
think you're doing quite smashingly so far.
I think the story of Torque's dad is probably like decently enough. It was a relatively traumatic one. Let's see here. So Torque's father and Sandala's husband went by Lugnut, and he was a tech for Congregation of Drak, and he was a full-on operative. Like, he ran jobs very much in like the same vein that you do. Like he like properly ran jobs for Congregation of Drak, and yet he was killed maybe like a while back, like when Torque was pretty young. We'll say like 10 years ago. And yeah, he was killed on an operation.
Hmm.
And it seems that Torque is interested in taking up the father's mantle to some extent.
He seems interested in serving Kaiser, so Tony will remain silent. But he's got a hand on his hand taser in his pocket just in case.
So yeah, he'll start driving you towards the bridge. Oh yeah, I know where that is.
So you're another one of Drak's sycophants, are you?
Big word. Such a small man.
Now, Kaiser, I know we're not talking about me, are we?
No.
Yeah, I guess. I was raised in the congregation. I haven't known much else.
I see. Well, you did save us. And I suppose it is mostly Kaiser's business. But I do believe that we will need to go pick up the items from your subordinates. Is that not correct, Kaiser? Or are they meeting us there?
Kaiser asked what's again about a car phone. Perchance to dream. Car phone?
Yeah, here.
Oh,
Uh, I,
fancy.
You have
I-
a car phone?
Tony. What's that? Whistle like, ooh, damn.
Only the best for the congregation. I dial up the number 2 boy behind Agathorn, and I asked them if they're
Apollo.
in position. I ask if Apollo's in position.
So define in position, because as I recall, you
Uh,
created a diagram of the bridge. And
Yes.
you sent it out with almost no instruction, because then your car was like T-boned.
Oh, okay. I
Didn't you
provide
say to
instruction.
like take out the snipers and replace them
Yeah.
with your own or something?
Yeah, I provide instruction now.
Alright, so are they to just go there and kill on sight, or like wait for the go word, or like this probably is going to be relatively delicate. So, what is the rules of engagement? When are they going? Are they waiting for you? Like, what's the deal here?
Yeah. So just get in a position and then wait for me.
Alright, so basically it's like 1 man per laser you saw.
Yeah.
And are there orders to just kill on sight, incapacitate, apprehend? Like, what are we?
I mean, they intend to kill us, so I suppose just kill them.
Okay.
Subdue them, however you see fit. However it is that you see fit to subdue them.
Okay. So you relay these like very vague orders. Just apprehend them however you fucking want.
I just kill them. Just kill them.
Send them a permanent message.
It's a congregation. They have different rules.
Okay. So yeah, your team they're going out ahead of you.
Yes.
So I believe Eurus asked about the items.
Yes, the team will be meeting us there with the items.
I see. Very well. And I'm guessing they'll be present during the meeting as well?
In a matter of speaking.
I knew he was gonna say that.
So we could say, like, because they have the artifact, so we'll rendezvous with one of the trucks before we hit the bridge, and then they'll go off to do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we could pick off the artifacts from them.
Okay. So it's a little bit of a drive. So you communicate with Apollo and the rest of Agathorn's.
How's the temperature in the car? Is it comfortable? Am I comfortable?
Yeah, this is a very nice truck.
Is
you
there
will
seat
actually-
heaters?
Yeah, you will notice that it has the pristine.
It's got a car phone. I'm sure it has speakers.
So yeah, you're driving in. Anyone who knows cars will know this is an Avalanche model truck made by DMG Incorporated. And what strikes you about it, it is like very well kept. And yeah, everything about this just screams like this is somebody's prized possession. Like they put a lot of care into this vehicle. Which I think Torque would probably notice you. Like you probably finish your call, and Torque notices you just overlooking the vehicle. And then we'll kind of like rebroach the subject. Yeah. So if that's all sorted out, we should probably talk about what we're gonna tell my mom. So I don't think she's not gonna hear about this.
Of course you won't, because we won't tell her. How do you figure Oh, the car? Is this...
Yeah.
I
So
mean-
this was kind of my present for finishing Tech Academy. From her.
Yeah, and we
And-
just kind of fucking live streamed from it, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna probably be on the news. And I don't know how much you remember about my dad, but she didn't exactly want this for me. If you catch my drift.
Right. I'm sure there's plenty of avalanches driving around, surely.
Should there be? What do you think, Cody?
I feel like
Uh,
the congregation would want to stick out as much as possible. But
You feel like they would want to stick out as much as possible?
I feel like it. Yeah. I
Well,
feel
this
like,
isn't like a. This is obviously like a gift
Yeah.
from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this isn't like a company car.
No.
So I will say, spoiler alert, like he is a driver and he's trained as a tech. So this thing is probably rather distinctly modified and cared for. So I'd probably contend that his mom would recognize this. Like if she sees like helicopter footage, she'd probably recognize it. Plus,
Your mom,
Tony
like,
like literally
watch the
streamed
news?
like him inside the car with you and him. So
And then a
he-
fireball.
To be fair, I was mostly pointing at the guys chasing us.
that's true.
But
I think
yeah.
there's definitely like a few frames of him in there that wouldn't be unmissable.
Does your mom frequent the news? She watched a lot of T&D.
Yeah, she's kind of obsessed with it.
She's
Oh.
obsessed with Tony Garoshi.
She loves Tony Garoshi. Well, I suppose we.
Tony is the solution. So we're parked like under. Well, we're not at the meeting yet. Right?
No, you're wherever. You're in like a parking lot with reasonable assurance of seclusion.
Excellent. And Tony thanks Torque for his service, and he will not forget this debt he owes him. And then he'll hit him with a hand taser.
You're tasing Torque?
What?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Uh.
Tony reaches up and
Tasing.
tasers Torque unconscious.
And I push him out of the driver's seat, and we steal his truck and go to the meet. There you go, problem solved.
That's actually a great idea. That's a fucking perfect idea.
Wait, do we leave him on the floor?
Yeah, I just push
On
him
the
out.
park-
I don't know.
on
I
the
leave him wherever.
Nice.
Do you call him a cab or something, maybe?
Is he conscious?
How do tasers work? What do you
Wait.
think?
He's probably just stunned.
People
He'll
are
be up
usually
in the
conscious after you taste them.
Okay, so he's just like, like
bed. Probably can't move too much.
okay.
I guess we call him a cab from the car phone. I don't know.
Well, if he's conscious, he'll probably just collect himself and go to a payphone.
Yeah, Tony drives off before Torque has any like.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
Kaiser's in the
yeah.
front seat, so does Kaiser just instinctively steal the truck, or?
Yes. So what Kaiser will do is he gets tased, he gets pushed out of the car. Kaiser will switch over to the driver's seat and he'll take one of Tony's napkins and write down he'll grab like a pen, write down the address on there and he'll say, we'll leave the car here. Just if anything, now you could just tell your mom you were robbed.
For the sake of making it not awkward, I'll say he's like still convulsing on the ground, but
Yeah.
but he gets the message. Otherwise, you just like
I-
you just tased him without provocation, and then told him the plan. But Brett,
No, I really like the picture of Kaiser and Tony being on kind of like the same page, like they look at each other.
Yeah.
And then they get like a slight smirk, and then Tony goes in, and then Kaiser like starts explaining what he's doing right before he gets tased. And he's just like, "Wait, what?" And he gets tased, and then he keeps explaining, and then we drive off.
okay.
Kaiser gave Tony a look that said, "You know what to do."
All right, so yeah, you make your way towards the Chicago Bridge, -1 torque. Agathorn probably like
Christ.
clambers up into the back seat once there's room.
Wow. Radical.
Yes. Awesome.
We are extremists. That's for sure.
That's a good strat. It's a good plan, honestly. It's totally sidestepping Sandala finding.
Oh yeah, Tony's resourceful.
Yeah. It was either gonna be that or Sandala was gonna read Kaiser the fucking riot act. So.
I thought maybe you were gonna give an autograph for him to give to his mom because she loves you so much. God, she can't get enough of that Tony Garoshi.
Well, I don't think she's like, oh, I can't wait to see Tony. It's just she watches the Action News a lot, and this what just happened is probably like headline material for the evening. Okay.
Tony's gonna be on our radar now. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, you make your way towards the new Chicago Bridge, and you meet your team at the rendezvous.
We have both trucks, lights on, facing each other.
Thank you, thank you.
you.
I look forward to this shit all week. Like the cars meeting in the night.
Oh,
And yeah,
nice.
so they're standing in like a V formation with like their weapons like ready, and they're like checking the ammo and shit.
Wait, did we meet with the goons yet?
You are meeting them now.
We are
Okay.
currently goon meeting.
Gotcha.
You're at the pre-meeting meeting. And yeah, their cars are parked like in V formation, like facing each other with the headlights on, and then you pull up and make like the triangle formation with them.
So I step out of the driver's seat. I give Agathorn the nod. He steps out of the car as well.
I do as well.
Yeah.
We all step out of the car. We
This
leave
time.
all the doors open.
Yeah,
Right, like-
I always hated that. They always do that shit. And yeah, I think so everyone's checking their weapons except one guy who's like holding, I guess two guys are each holding parcels. One with presumably with the actually three guys, each is holding your three things that they had.
The orb comes flying back to me.
Yep.
So I will grab the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Eurus, I'm assuming you grab the chalice.
Yep.
All right, and then
Actually, maybe I should
Oh,
take
you're-
the deck because we established in lore that it only listens to.
that's true. Yeah, okay, you take the deck, I'll take the chalice.
Okay, sounds good.
How do so? How do we want to handle like the grimoire just to be like shitty in D&D for a minute? Like you carry around like a fucking spell book. Like, is it
Yep.
like on your person, like kind of like chained to your hip or something, like on like a cool like,
Yes,
belt thing?
similar.
It's like a satchel.
Yeah, typical paladin shit where it's just like chained around and you just have it by your side. You can
Cool.
like flip it open. And
So it's not like some enormous tome. It's like you can hold it
No.
in one hand type of a thing. And yeah, it's just kind of like hanging off your belt, all cool like.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, actually, it probably looks a lot like the picture. Okay.
Yep.
It's
Okay, so yeah,
alive.
you refasten that to your hip. You collect the deck. Kaiser collects the chalice. Do you address the troops?
I address the troops. I tell them, the time has come.
We'll fight in the hills, fight
We'll
on the
fight in
landing
the-
ground, and in the streets. We shall never surrender.
You know your assignments. It's time to get it done.
Do they have like a thing they shout back at you, like ooh or some shit?
I can't. It would be whatever we determine, which I
Hail
think it was
truck, was
hail.
it?
I think it was hail.
Hell, Hydrock.
Hell, I truck.
truck.
Yeah. Yeah, so you give them a short and sweet, like a you know what to do type of a thing, and that inspires confidence, that you have the confidence in them. So you get like some firm nods and then like a collective like Hail Hydrock or Drock, whichever it is. And do you guys go on foot from here? Or do you, I guess you guys would drive up, right?
Oh yeah, we drive up for sure.
Yeah. So do you, because it's probably like, you're probably still like, a quarter mile away or something. How do you just allow your guys time to get in position, presumably?
Yeah, we had
And-
yeah.
And you wait for the green light? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you
Synchronize
take your,
our watches.
yeah, you synchronize your watches, you give them a head start, and then you start driving up, and then yeah, you get like the green light, and yeah, you pull up under the bridge, in the darkness, kind of like roll. We'll say there's like some like shanties down here, like a lot of homeless, but they seem to have cleared out as if like they knew something was going down.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
Ooh, Brett's so slick. All right. And you, so you like pull down like some little like side paths, and yeah, soon enough you like go past a bunch of like little rickety like piles of garbage and like little shacks and stuff, and then sure enough you see, just like your vision, a like very nice luxury 4-door sedan type of a car, in front of a larger SUV. And outside of it is, let's update the table. He's not there. Is Agathorn with you?
Yes, Agathorn's driving the car.
Okay.
But Tony's driving was so good.
And let me just grab one more token.
Africanized elf, watch out! He's after your art.
He's gone feral.
Put him down, boys.
Okay. And yeah, you just see this one guy waiting outside.
Are there like street lamps or anything, or is it completely dark under here?
We'll say there's like some, you know what, we're under a bridge, there's flaming garbage cans.
Gotcha.
And also,
Yes.
so like,
Are there homeless people?
they seem to have cleared out, as if they know something's going down. And, yeah, you know what, too, like, it's the fucking Sprawl, like, look at the picture, there's just this, like, the whole area is, like, bathed in this, like, just dull bluish, whitish light coming from over the river, too. So yeah, it's like a mixture of, like, flaming garbage cans and just, like, this moonlight and, like, the lights coming from the city. Just a ton of light pollution.
Does anyone still have any gear? I'd like to generate a briefcase.
I do not.
Fuck.
The
Cowards.
items can be stored in a proper traveling receptacle. That's unreasonable.
I mean, Tony has a briefcase that he uses for work.
Is it metal?
No. It's too fancy.
I guess we can't really fit a chalice inside of a briefcase.
We're keeping the chalice, aren't we?
Yeah, the chalice was never part
Yeah,
of the deal.
the chalice was
I
just.
believe Brett just volunteered to steal the chalice to
Yep.
Gage.
Hey, I'm not stealing.
So yeah, you pull up. Do you all get out? All four of you?
I have it in a deck box.
I'll stay in the
Deck box.
I'll stay in the truck for now.
You have your camera rolling?
Yeah. I guess I'll lay low just in case. I don't
Junior,
think Tony's much of a tactical guy, so.
All right.
Junior Inquisitor Agathorn comes around and opens my door for me.
Yes. All business now. Here we go. What about Eurus? Does he wait for someone to open his door?
No, I'll open it.
Okay. So yeah, Agathorn gets out, lets out Kaiser from the passenger seat, or is he in the back seat? All like businessman style.
Oh yeah, Kaiser's in the back seat.
Nice. All right.
No, yeah, definitely. Eurus and Kaiser both in the backseat, I feel
Okay.
like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And does Agathorn come with you?
Yes, for sure, absolutely.
Okay, so the three of you get into cool guy business meeting V formation. I'll let you fight over who's standing in front.
No, I feel like Eurus and Kaiser are standing on equal footing with Agathorn behind,
Yeah, there
trailing
we go.
Kaiser.
Oh, so he's like in between. So it's reverse V formation.
Oh.
It's reverse V formation.
Y formation.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, you see this guy and he's sitting there, standing. He's like probably standing. This guy's standing like in like a really like squared, like nice straight posture, and he's got this like just really clean suit on, like just almost immaculate. And he is an elf. He appears to be in his early 40s. He has a short buzz cut, and over his what is that? His left eye. He has left eye. He has what you would recognize as a Miskatonic amalgamated Fortilens optic extension. Similar line to what Hinge had at the party, but this one is a slightly newer model. And yeah, he's got these like leather gloves on, and he's just like standing there with like his hands kind of folded over each other. And yeah, he just watches you walk up to them.
So, where's your boss?
You ask him where his boss is. Like a wry smirk kind of like comes over his yeah, the corner of his mouth just like lifts into a smirk. my boss. And he just raises an eyebrow.
Oh, are you the person in charge here?
That is correct. For terms of such a delicate nature, I choose to handle things myself. Now I understand you have something for me.
That is correct. We do have something for you. So long as you have something for us.
Of course. And I think he'd probably like. So are you like showing him like your
Oh yeah,
thing?
yeah. I'll wave over to Eurus. He has it, and if he chooses to show it, it's up to
I
him.
produce it.
Okay.
He produces.
I don't give it to him, but I show him that we do in fact have it.
So yeah, I think he would like raise one gloved hand and snap, and sure enough, like one of his underlings will kind of like come around from the back of the car with a duffel bag. So yeah, he brings the duffel bag over to him and just sets it down at this gentleman's side, and he just like looks at you.
He looks at me.
Yes, he does.
Hmm. Hmm.
I look down at the duffel bag and then look back up at him and say, "Shh, what's inside?"
Your payment
Hmm.
for a job
May we-
presumably well done,
May we see it?
provided you deliver the deck to me. Yes. He's power
That's
tripping a
not-
little bit. You're just standing 10
Mm.
feet away from the guy.
That's not how this goes.
We showed. We're not going to accept your tell.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, I think he smirks again. I think he appreciates that. All right, so I think he would definitely like snap his finger again,
Yeah.
and his dude would like open the duffel bag, and some agreed upon amount of
Gold bars.
yeah, whatever. Again, cred, we're gonna loosely define it, so whatever the implied payment was, it appears to be there from the surface down. Are you yet reassured, or must the awkwardness continue?
I will request the deck from Eurus. I'll put my hand out.
I smile at him and hand it to him.
I will then slowly walk halfway between me and him, and I will set the deck on the floor, and then I will walk back to my original position.
Okay. Or maybe you like hand it to the underling, so it's just putting stuff down in the dirt.
No, I want his cards to be dirty. I want him to pick it off the ground.
In
What's-
a deck box where you're not listening.
Hey, buddy, I got one more game for you. It's called 52 Pickup. You spray all the cards.
Don't tempt me.
Yeah, his underling would scoop up the cards and carry them over. And yeah, he would carefully open the box and start thumbing through the cards.
He goes insane and has to be hospitalized.
Yep. And yeah, he looks through the cards. He appears satisfied. Says, "Very good." Then there is. How do we roll this?
Oh, for get paid.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and roll get paid now.
Get paid. Getting paid.
This is Kaiser.
Getting paid, which is, of course,
Oh, it goes off legwork.
Yes. It's
We have one unfilled segment.
so it's just gonna be 2d6 plus 1.
Oh shit! I gotta manually roll this. God damn it.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's like the only roll in the
Slash
game that's not
roll.
off of an attribute.
Two
Jeff,
d
why didn't you make us a fancy macro?
2d6 plus 1. Let's see if I did that right. Ooh.
Well, honestly, Cody, given what you saw in your vision, this is probably a little more fitting.
Yeah.
Add the number of unfilled. Yes, that
It is a setup or an ambush.
Yep. Yep. Very good. Then that leaves just one more bit of business, and yeah, his underling, very much as you saw, goes back to the car, not the SUV, and opens the door, and out steps somebody that Kaiser and
Not Kaiser.
Not Kaiser.
Yuritz and Tony.
Yeah, Yuris and Tony. But you would have. I'm sure they would have told you about this just in passing
Right.
at some point. And out steps Stringer Frost.
Ooh. Tony's recording all of this. Oh, I gotta get the footage.
It would seem you boys did well. And he's like, now he's definitely like going into like sexy Shakespeare here, you know, all gloating and shit. I believe thanks are in order. I
So
guess
it
he's
would
looking at you,
seem.
Iris.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I kind of look towards Kaiser and say, procure the gold.
I send Agathor.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I-
Agathor wouldn't listen to me.
look at him
Agathor would
and I
listen to you.
I just kind of
so
put my hand up
I
and
think
wave
at that
forward.
moment, like, one of the lasers comes on, and it's on Agathorn's chest. And they'll, oh, in good time, in good time.
My smile turns to a frown.
I check my green light. Is my green light still lit?
It can't be.
Stringer, I'm actually surprised that you have the gall to show your face after what we did to you. Finally able to pick yourself back up, were you?
Well, to get back in the game, first you need to get rid of what took you out of the game. No, Mr. Uris, I have a few questions for you first, before we'll entertain the idea of you walking out of here alive. Why? For starters.
Will knowing that actually help you back to reclaiming your former glory? No, I don't think it will. It'll just eat away at you time and time again every time you go out in public. It's probably best just to leave that forgotten.
It will give me a place to start.
To be honest, you are an easy target. Most of the other politicians are much more heavily secured. You, on the other hand, like to flaunt yourself towards the public. You are a people person, after all.
Well, after all, that's how the game is played. Nevertheless, I need to know where my leak was, if I am to plug it, where to begin the trail of bodies, if I can speak plainly. Now, Mr. Uris, I don't know you. Never met you before. So I'm assuming you were either hired or you're a very motivated individual. I'd like to know which.
I'm quite motivated to achieve my goals, as I'm sure all of us here are.
And what would those be?
I merely seek knowledge. I kind of like open up my lapel and I show them my grimoire. As you can see, I am a mage. I strive off the pursuit of knowledge.
And this has what to do with me exactly?
Oh, your station in life is quite lucrative. Certainly you can understand that. And defaming you and able to boost myself up amongst the shadowy corporations, I could only stand to gain.
So you were hired.
No, definitely not. But I most certainly was expanding my contact list after defaming you.
So this was a networking operation, and he kind of like smiles smugly.
I nod and say, everything should be.
It's a shame. The corp life might have fitted you nicely.
He has cybernetics on his head.
Yes, he has a yeah, I guess to quickly describe Stringer Frost, he's human, late 30s, he's neat brown hair, also wearing a pretty clean suit. This one is like a little more high-tech looking than his colleagues. It's got this like synthetic ceramic plating like on the shoulders and collars kind of. He has 2 pieces of cyberware. He has a Miskatonic amalgamated, it's called a Mesmer, which is like a neural function enhancement suite, which is something that kind of like boosts brain processing power. It has no real ties to magic, at least nothing like overtly. It's just quite literally like something to help like businessmen just run high-level calculations without having to go to a computer.
Gotcha.
And then he also has a Maravati incorporated forearm, kind of similar to what Lilix had.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mentioned that, and then I'll make a very visible grimace towards his forearm, and then I'll smile back at him.
Oh, you're one of those Elan purists, are you?
Purist. Well, I haven't been labeled that in quite some time.
So you no longer subscribe to their beliefs, is it?
I shrug and say, I'm not so certain that you could say that. I mean, your cybernetics certainly do disgust me.
You must lead a very uncomfortable life if my cybernetics disgust you.
Well, seeing your colleague also makes me a little squeamish, but I suppose looking at your face, I can't really blame myself for being a little bit uneasy.
I think he probably just like snorts out of his nose.
Tell me, are you actually going to continue wasting my time, or can I get out of here? You have what you need.
No, I think you've had all the time that you will, and then I think more lasers come on at that point. And if there was a moment, it's now, Cody. Or you're not? No, I think he'll definitely save us. Like more, all the lasers come on. Like no, I think you'll be having no more time wasted or otherwise, and all the lasers come on.
So, for dramatic effect, could the time have been before the first laser came on?
Well, the first laser stopped Agathorn from like just going over and picking up the gold.
Right. What I'm saying is that my men have already taken those positions and are now just enacting my plan of making him feel like he's still in control of the situation.
They're your lasers.
They are my lasers.
Perfect.
I had a laser point. Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, you saw it in the vision. You knew what color they were. You're like, guys, get your green lasers for tonight.
Yes.
So yeah, like they were just dialed in. It's like they knew like the gist of what was gonna happen. The dude gave very obvious signals, and a laser was on Agathorn. And I think there's definitely like if it's the movie, like it pans up in Agathorn when that happened.
Yeah.
Gave like just like the smallest of grins, like because he knows. Okay, so yeah, he makes his statement, and he snaps again, presumably to signal all lasers to come on. But Cody.
Oh no, all the lasers will come on.
Okay, so they're all on you guys.
Yeah, they all pointed us.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
So yeah, all the lasers are on you guys.
I want him to give his whole monologue. I want his whole thing.
Yeah, once all the lasers get trained on us,
Yep.
I do that like very typical like anime frustrated face where I like grit my teeth.
Yeah. No, when I knew Old Arrest was out there, running jobs for pay, I knew it was just a matter of time. And when my colleague here had his own need, I figured 2 birds with 1 stone. I'd lure you out and get cheap labor in turn. It was just a matter of tracking down that fat dwarf friend of yours.
Oh,
But no, it
tricked me?
would seem if it would seem you gentlemen fancy yourselves gamblers, and, well, quite frankly, the house always wins. Good
Is
night,
that so?
Mr. Yeah. Good night, Mr. Harris. And he'll like turn his back. I'll like, now they die.
Yes.
And then what happens,
And-
Cody?
So I want there like he like turns his back, he starts walking away, he's expecting a hail of gunfire. He doesn't hear it, and he turns back and he
Yes.
sees Kaiser has his hands up. Or not his hands up, just one hand up. And he kind of like points at him, and all the lasers just slowly trail over and all point at him. And at this point, I will tap Eurus on the shoulder, and I will say, "His fate is in your hands now." And I tell Agathorn to grab the bag, and I start going back towards the car.
Yep, so Agathorn is not contested if he goes and gets the bag. His colleague is probably making the pose from his picture there. He's probably like pulling one glove up to his face and just kind of like leaning in and looking with like great interest.
I want to incapacitate both of them.
Okay.
I
Do
want
you
to-
start with Stringer?
No, I start with the other guy.
Okay. So I think as you would approach the other guy, he would hold up a hand. Just say, wait.
Wait, what does he say?
Just wait. And he's trying to be like deliberately calm and cool here.
You sound flushed. Is everything all right?
I'll send one of my orbs over.
Mhm. No, I just wanted to offer you my compliments for beating me to the punch.
Oh, so you were planning to deceive us as well?
So I think Stringer probably turns to look at him, and he would just look up at you and say, "No, not you." And
I smile.
yep. So I think you immediately understand what he's saying, and I think you'll allow him to reach to his whip, pull out a pistol, and just blow Stringer the fuck away.
Yep.
And I think, he would put the gun back and give you like a very like, one professional to another, like a nod of sincere gratification.
Yep.
Like thank you for understanding.
I nod.
Would Kaiser turn back or still be all gangster and go back to the car?
Definite. Oh, come on, Cody.
What? What do you want me to
I
do?
feel like Kaiser doesn't give a shit.
Yep.
That's up to Cody.
So we still have not identified. I still wasn't able to identify the man.
You don't know his name yet. He has just confessed to intending to betray Stringer Frost.
Hmm. Does his car look armored?
Which car?
The car he is in, or the car he approached in, or the car he's near.
I think most
His
cars
car.
that are driven around by like execs dealing in the shadows are probably bulletproof, but not like the fucking truck you guys dealt with. That truck had 2 armor, the one that chased you. Like that's like
Yeah.
like assault vehicle type territory. I think most vehicles just have 1 armor if it's like got a high value person inside. So yeah, I think his car has 1 armor.
I'm just trying to think about how far off the reservation Kaiser wants to go on mission 1.
What do you do, Cody?
Aren't you a
Yeah,
high
sure.
priest of Drock? You can get away with anything.
Yeah,
you are missing one car.
So after Stringer Frost goes down, Kaiser will turn back around and he'll raise his hand back up. And how close is Eurus to these people?
Probably like 10 feet away.
It's only the one. Well, I guess there's also the underling who's just kind of like just waiting. But yeah, you're probably like, yeah, I'd say like 10 feet away. You were like going over to like knock him out, and then he like held up his hand like, hold on. And so yeah, your risk is probably like, 5-10 feet away.
So he turns around, he puts his hand back up, and you just see him like a slight smirk behind his terrifying skull mask, and he closes his fist, and thus rains down a hail of bullets.
You kill him anyways?
Unless he does something to preserve his own life, I kill him anyways.
Yeah, so like there is like a dramatic pause, and I guess if you want to afford him monologue time, you can.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
If you want to just kill him without asking any questions, that's fine too. He's trying to treat it like a professional and like have like a to and fro of monologues, because that's just how these things go. But if your response is
sure,
like,
I will give him. He technically speaking did betray us, so I will give him. I'll give him a moment to try to plead for his life, if he wishes to plead.
Stringer Frost spoke the truth. He approached me with what he perceived to be a win-win. I had a job that needed doing, and he needed to lure the mage out. But with that said, Stringer Frost was damaged goods. I don't need to tell you that his stock was at an all-time low. So I decided to, as they say, hold him. Wait and see how things went. Turn it into a win-win for myself. Either I get competent or high operated, or what's the word? I either walk away with a high-performing team or Stringer's satisfaction. I chose the former.
Does Kaiser turn around and start walking back to enter the conversation?
Yes, Kaiser will put his hand down for a moment. He puts both his hands behind his back and he slowly approaches. So how are you going to make this a win-win for me?
That's cool.
Well, lightly put Mr. Ledoux. I am no Stringer Frost. Stringer Frost came to me with a scheme to regain lost face. How to put this? I'm somebody people would miss. Stringer Frost is not.
So my win is by not killing you, I won't have a major headache. Is that what you're trying to sell me?
A headache. I can assure you my death would result in, shall we say, equally returned force. No.
Oh, he's threatening you, Cody.
No. In response, in return for my life, you would receive the gratitude of a very high operating executive within T&D, and the prospect for future employment.
Kaiser mulls this over for a moment, slowly approaching.
Mr. Eurus, did you not describe your operation as a networking operation?
I did.
Well, take a little advice from me, someone who's been in the game for a long time. Networks are better suited when members of it are alive.
Kaisar will approach quite closely.
Unless you'd prefer to
Kaiser.
hedge your bets with that fat dwarf friend of yours, who wouldn't know how to
Kaiser,
fat a client if it bit him in the ass. Which
Kaisar
it
gets
apparently just did.
very, very intimately close.
No one speaks about Torque that way.
Not Jiffy Jeffy's my friend!
Kaisar looks this Africanized elf right in
Why
his
are they all
one good eye, and he says, "Deal." And he pulls out his pistol and he shoots his not him, but his boy, the guard, whatever, the other guy in the head.
Okay. That was one of Stringer's men, so good call. So our also just to check, is his strike team dead? Or are they all like tied up in like a barrel or something?
We could say they were subdued. Yeah, they're tied up there wherever. Yeah.
You guys hit him with trank darts and shit.
Yeah. And then Kaisar will reach down and put his hand in the blood of the man he just killed, and he says, "The congregation prefers to do their deals in blood." And then he reaches out his bloodied hand for a handshake.
Yeah. I think he will, I'm trying to think if there's any blood on him. I don't think
From blasting the guy.
Yeah, we'll say that like Stringer was really close to him when he shot him, so like some of his blood like splashed back on him. So he like wipes like the blood off of like the left side of his face, and will shake your hand.
So just to confirm, the man I just killed was one of Stringer's men. It's not one of this guy's men.
Well, he was the suitcase bitch, and
Yeah.
whoever's man he was, I can't imagine. I don't know. You tell me if an executive would be really broken up if the suitcase bitch got shot in a high stakes, high tension deal.
Well, it depends on if the suitcase, because right now I think Agathorn's the suitcase bitch, and if he got shot, I'd be pretty upset about it. I've
Well,
had a lot of top boys.
For the
meet their
moment,
end.
he seems to be a pretty cool customer. So
All right, does he bloody his hand and then shake my hand?
yes,
I don't
so
shake
he
his hand
wipes,
unless he bloodies
He
it.
wipes Stringer's blood off of his face. We'll say that like it had like a very Quentin Tarantino, like when he shot him, just and like the left side of his face was just
Very
covered.
model, full of blood.
Yep. And yeah, he'll wipe his face down and shake your hand and give you a very like stern, like we have an understanding look.
Excellent. I walk back over to Agathorn and he pulls out like a pristine white handkerchief, and I wipe my bloodied hand with it.
Yep.
And then I kind of give a wave off signal, and the lasers disappear.
Yep. We'll say that like they go off like do they all go off like with perfect discipline, or do like they go off like blip, 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 and there's one that just kind of lingers. And then...
Yeah, I want one that kind of lingers a little
Yeah.
bit. And then-
It's the new guy.
It's a new guy who inadvertently makes the scene like way cooler.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, and I think he just stands there waiting for the lasers. You know, he'll actually just like stand there like very, very stoic, like go back to like that original pose where like he just kind of has his hands folded at his hip waist, and just like, and we'll just stand there and wait for you guys to like get in your car and leave.
No, I'm still standing in front of him.
Oh, you're just gonna wait.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so
as soon as,
hours
like,
pass, and the
waiting-
sun comes
wait.
up.
So Kaiser begins walking past, and as soon as he does,
Mhm.
I kind of like re-enter the conversation, I guess, or like his forefront, and say,
Yeah.
the deck. The next time you contact us, I must say that my interests in that deck have been quite piqued. So the next time you contact us, I expect that to be on the payment list. I assume that your business with it will be done by then.
Unlike Mr. DeWitt, I consider myself a man of legitimate business.
You keep breaking up.
Sir, unlike Mr. DeWitt, I consider myself a man of legitimate business. The deck has been bought and paid for, and my own reputation would be sullied were I not to deliver it. That said, you've proven yourself quite adept at stealing the thing. I imagine you could handle it twice, given coordinates and dates and times, could you not?
I nod. Of course.
I think, yeah, he would pull out... I think there's like an era of so he'll pull out like a very old school like pen and paper and like a fountain pen, which is like quite the sight this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he'll write down. Jeff just has to make sure I get this right. Yeah, he would write down like an address and like a name of just some gentleman. And below that, he would write Other Works International.
I take the piece of paper between my middle finger and pointer finger, and I put it in my lapel.
Yep. It's a,
I smile at him.
give it 2 hours, and then it's fair game.
I smile at him and say, "Pleasure doing business." And I walk away.
Yep. Yeah, he nods his head likewise. And he'll still post up, though. He wants to just stand there all stoic-like till you guys leave.
Yeah, absolutely. Once I get in the car, the orb flies back to me.
Cool. So yeah, you two get in the truck with Tony, who's like ducked down behind. Is he like kind of ducked down recording all this?
Yeah.
Did he have the capacity to record audio? I guess we could have like a little tech discussion here.
Oh. Audio, maybe not. I know my equipment has, what is it? Magnification, but, let's see. It just says recording equipment, so I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
probably
think
just
he's
like the
got,
sounds
like-
of gunshots. Probably loud enough to like be heard through the car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And,
The audio probably does need to be cleaned up for any kind of like broadcast, but I don't know. It's like whatever the camera can pick up.
We'll say it's just like kind of indicative of what we have today. Is like there's a mic on the camera. So
Yeah,
them
kind of
having
thing.
like a hushed conversation like 30 feet away, maybe not.
Oh,
Maybe
then
not-
Tony would
maybe
have
not like
gotten.
us,
The
but-
doors are still open, so Tony creeps out of the car until he gets
Okay.
close. enough to
Okay,
hear.
so yeah, you got audio on all that then. Okay, done.
Yeah.
So yeah, Eurys, Agathorn, and Kaiser go back. Each of you climbs in a different door in the truck. You all pull the doors shut. Then what?
Tony lets out a sigh of relief. He was sweating the whole time.
You just give him that bloody handkerchief, Kaiser. What are you doing?
My handkerchiefs are napkins, and they're also. I threw them all at that truck. But Antonio will say, which I feel like he should say something.
Say something, Tony.
Hey,
No.
No.
I don't know. I think he's probably surprised that Kaiser made a deal with this man, with this Mr. Houso. Seems like the kind of guy who always wins. Yeah, Tony, I guess, probably keeps to himself on the ride. Where are we going, anyways? Do we gotta put the money and go our separate ways, I guess?
So
How
real
do
quick,
these
you
things
guys
normally
can.
work?
We'll say you just got the normal payment because you didn't miss the roll. So go ahead and. I already marked your little trackers there. Those of you that wagered 3 got 6 cred, and then Brett, you got 4 cred.
Hmm.
And you may mark in total for the mission 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 XP. We can talk about directives a little later. But yeah, where do you guys go?
real quick, just to make sure, we started with 5 cred, right?
Yeah, you start with
And then
5.
Because you
Stake
gave me
cred-
one.
The cred goes away temporarily.
The
is that
cred
true?
is when you stake cred, you spend it. It's gone. But then you
Okay,
earn
that's what I
back
thought.
on a normal payout. You earn back 2x. On a
Gotcha.
high-paying mission, you earn back 3x.
Gotcha.
So by my count, Brett, Brett has 6, and then Tony and Kaiser have 8.
I should have.
I have
had
9
one
because Brett, you gave me a credit at one point for
that's what I thought. Yeah.
bribes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Which
So I had one cred.
Tony pays you back 2, so there you
okay.
go.
Wait, he gives me 2 cred,
Yeah,
so I'm at 7.
Okay.
we're
so-
both at 7.
Cool.
By the way, just while you're updating stuff down there, I also oh wait, let me make sure I haven't done anything
We're
since.
like splitting.
I have a
files,
I have a
and Tony
3.
evens out
Mhm.
with
I have
euros.
a 4 and a 3 for my 2 dice.
Got it.
I think Tony will mention he knows that face. He's seen that man before somewhere, but where? It escapes Tony at the moment.
Well, he said he was a TND executive, so
Mm-hmm.
Tony racks his brain trying to think, but no, it's not coming to him.
Tony, could you perhaps?
I racked
introduce
Tony's
files
brain.
in the downtime? Perhaps looking into our new associate would be wise. Tony, it seems like you're in the best place to do that.
Hi. The best
Which-
place, perhaps, but also the most dangerous. He uses the Japanese word for dangerous.
I believe that is
Dangeroso.
high.
Dangerous.
And what shall we do with this? Kaisar holds up the chalice.
I promised you some time to study it as well, Kaiser, but if you do not have the time currently, I can take it and study it alongside Gabe. Gage.
Gabe?
Yeah.
Gabe the mage.
Alongside Gage at the academy.
Perhaps it would be best if you took it for the time being. Artifacts that end up in the congregation's collection don't oftentimes leave the collection.
Understood. I will
But after
extract the-
your research is done, given that you're an outside entity from the congregation, I'm sure you could swing it by the artificers over at the congregation to maybe assist in your research. The congregation may even offer to acquire the artifact off of you.
I see. I'll extract the usefulness of it without the congregation until I require their assistance, and then I will head there. Because if I'm reading you correctly, they will apprehend it regardless if I want them to or not. Is that correct?
Well, given that you are from me, yes, I am a member of the congregation, and as such, I'm sworn to hand over any such magical artifacts that I find in my possession. You, however, under no such bonds.
I see. Useful information.
That being said, I'm sure they would greatly desire it to be added to their collection. Take from that what you will. Once you are done with your research, I'm sure if I were to hand it over, I would find myself in great favor with Drock, so I would much appreciate it. But this was a group effort, and so let everyone get a hand on this ball, if you will.
Understood.
Before-
I'll hand it over to you once I am done extracting the knowledge that I can.
Excellent. Win-win-win. Tony gets his footage. We get our magical artifacts.
We knocked out a dwarf.
Knocked out a dwarf. We got a fuck ton of gold bars, I guess.
Let's hit the streets and sell this souped-up car.
No. We must return the vehicle to its
In that case, I believe our business is concluded. Right? I think. Is there anything else?
Out,
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. So
So
I think at this
the
point now we're gonna.
truck probably like slows on like a street corner or something. Tony will get out of the truck with his cut. I guess he'll bow to you guys as is custom.
No, I think we just drive it to the spot that I allocated that we would leave the car at. So we drive the car up there, and then we all get out of the car and then just
We leave it outside the creamery.
We leave it outside the creamery, the nice ice cream place on 5th and 9th, the creamery.
we all go our separate ways. All three of us end up in the creamery for.
The Chicago street design is very bad. It's on the corner of 5th and 9th.
Well, gentlemen, Tony bows and takes his leave.
Goodbye, Tony.
Tony heads to the racetrack.
He's gonna gamble all his new money. Yeah, so I think at this point now we're moving into what's titled in the book as a retaliation phase, but I think we'll just kind of expand it a little bit into just like free time between missions.
Oh,
Go ahead.
wait, we didn't do links.
Oh yeah, I
Fuck.
forgot about links. I love that. Yeah. So what is it? Each of you pick a person who they get a link with you, and you have to describe what they learned about you, right?
Is it
Yes. That's it.
what you learned from them? I forget.
At the end of a mission, each player chooses another character, who as a result of the mission has a better idea of how your character operates. Explain what happened and what they now know about you. That character increases their links with you by 1.
Okay.
Yep, so each of you pick another person who will get a link with you and then say what they learned about you and why.
I will pick Eurus. I never go first.
Okay.
So Brett, add a link for Kaiser. And what did Eurus learn about Kaiser?
Lose. What did Eurus lose?
He taught him the true meaning of
Creative
sacrifice.
sacrifice. Yeah. So I add a link.
I think.
No, I pick, right? No.
No, Cody
no. I tell you what
God
you
damn it,
learned
it's
about
so
me.
Confusing.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, I remember why I never go first. Eurus learned that Kaiser is I'm sure he had some impressions about him, being that he's a man of the metaphorical cloth, but I feel like all expectation of that was shattered in this most recent mission we've performed, where he did watch Kaiser, in fact, gamble, drink, and commit murder.
Is that go contrary to normal practices within?
That is
Congregation?
again that is contrary to normal practice.
So your card carrying members of the congregation are kind of akin to like whatever let's say Christians, or more so, less so.
Yeah, they're very much do unto your neighbor what you would want to done unto yourself, or whatever
Okay.
Christians are into.
So yeah, Kaiser
It's
is very
very-
much a walking contradiction of the congregation then.
Yes.
Cool.
So he is more willing to do anything to accomplish the goals of Drac. rather
Correct.
Than
Yes.
follow the kind of like abstract guidelines.
He's
Right.
Gotcha. I like
he's fucking Jack Sparrow. He's like about the Pirates Code. He's like, it's more of a series of guidelines.
Yeah. He's a more
Hands-on.
so like
He gets
The-
results.
what do we call them? Do we call them bishops? The bishops are already kind of like a radical section of the church, and then Kaiser is even then like radical within the bishops,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
considered more radical.
I think he's kind of unique too, because I imagine like I guess like how militant are them in terms of like is everybody like that, like all of them, or is it like, you know, the kids or like the rebels will kind of like stray as well and like smoke and
No,
drink and
so
stuff?
any sort of like militant action like that is usually
I guess militant's not the word, like rebellious is what I'm looking for.
Oh, rebellious.
Like, do you think Torque like goes out and smokes with his friends and stuff? Or is
Torque's got a badass car and he seems pretty ham. He's probably a rebel, I'm imagining.
Okay.
His
Seems
father
like a
was
good
an operator.
negotiator.
His father was an operator and then died. He's definitely he seems like he's rebellious.
He
But I
grew
feel
up
like
in a
it's
single-parent household.
yeah.
Okay. See, my
I feel
point
like-
is like, is like Kaiser like the only one, or like, you know?
No,
It-
there's
it's-
certainly a few. Everyone has their vices, if you will.
But all the same,
Um,
like this was very much like the priest who like takes off his collar and picks up a shotgun type of a moment.
Right? Yeah. It was an odd thing to see. People don't normally get this impression from members of the congregation.
I love that.
It's yeah.
So there's definitely like a head turning moment when Kaiser like first lit up that cigar and was like, "I'll join you for your high stakes game of poker."
Absolutely, yeah.
Sweet.
Neat. How does it work? You gave Brett the link?
So
I
yeah,
had Brett gain link from me. Yes.
so yeah, now Yuris added one link for Kaiser. So you choose who gets a link with you.
I choose Kaiser. And the thing I learned about... Oh, no, wait. The thing he
Other way
learned
around,
from
yeah.
me.
learned about
I'll go later. I gotta think on this one. I learned things from both of you, but I don't know that anyone learned anything from Tony. You learned that I sweat a lot.
We already knew that.
I don't know if Yuris actually knows what Tony did.
Yeah, we barely had any contact. I know that now that you're a gambler, just like Tony, who showed zero gambling.
Yeah, because Kaiser was the one who like worked out the whole bomb
Yeah,
thing.
Kaiser was kind of like a middleman, even with Agathon. Like, I don't think Yuris knows anything.
Does Yuris
about
even
it.
know that like Tony orchestrated the whole theft of the chalice?
No, I don't think he did.
You were just like, all right, guys, we're also gonna steal the chalice, and I'm gonna go play cards, and then
I was aware that there was a bomb, but I didn't know it was Tony. I don't think, unless Kaiser told me.
I was aware that there was a bomb and I knew what it looked like. It looks like this.
because Kaiser showed me, in not so uncertain terms.
I picked Kaiser. You learned that Tony. What did you learn about Tony? Tony had kept kind of a low profile. He keeps a low profile, but he can get things done, and he takes orders well. Apparently, he handed him a bomb and told him
Yeah.
to go put it somewhere. He did so.
And you did so successfully.
And the reason for that is because Tony learned something from Kaiser as well. He learned that Kaiser keeps things from other people, but it ended
He
up being
plays
for the best
close
'cause he
to the
saved all of
vest.
our- yeah, he does, and it saved all of our lives. So he has learned to trust Kaiser to some degree.
Have faith.
Yes.
Kaiser has some reading material
Oh no,
for you.
Tony's a potential disciple.
I have
of,
some
like-
literature for you, Tony.
Oh no.
Cool.
Okay, I think Yuris will pick Tony. I think this works because Yuris originally thought Tony was going to be like a background, like get things done and get information, but he acts surprisingly well under pressure and can make hard calls in like split-second decisions when it matters.
What's the
whenever
other
he,
way
like,
around?
It's you have
What
to
did Tony
see
learn
what.
about you?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck! God damn it!
Yeah, it's
Yeah, never mind. I don't.
I learned a lot of things about everyone.
Yuris was like front and center the whole fucking
Yeah.
operation, so it shouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
Like I guess just like also rewind, like think back to the Lynx missions. Like what was your impression from the Lynx missions, and then how was it evolved through this mission?
hmm
Because the game is just now starting, so it's kind of easy.
I feel like Tony learned that Yuris will most likely take the non-lethal way out if possible, a la the wind elemental, kind of subduing rather than like outright killing or anything. But whenever like push comes to shove, if they're being pursued and they like have to get away, he'll do what's necessary in order to accomplish the mission. He, like threw a fireball.
So you learned that Kaiser or Yuris is by no means scared to take the gloves off.
And yet, he doesn't kill without reason. Interesting.
Cool. Alright, so those are the links. So I think, yeah, now we'll transition into the expanded retaliation phase, which can ultimately kind of be blown up into just you can do stuff between missions, roll dice, talk to contacts, get information. We can probably, if like you need time to like just really think of what you'd like to do, we could also stop. But I guess, does anybody like have anything they want to like start kind of getting on as like you all get back to your houses? And we'll say like unless something comes up, like days to weeks will pass between missions, unless the narrative dictates otherwise.
I think Tony mostly works. I don't know. I don't have a secret agenda or anything I want to accomplish.
Do you further craft your story about DeWitt anyway?
Does the boss pick up on it? I take it to my boss. What does he say?
Yeah, so I think the fucking chase is like, that's like headline news for the night. There was a high-speed chase through the streets of the city that ended with like a fantastic display of magic on the highway that caused like a 10-car pileup. So, I think.
Pat on the back for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably curious why you were in the car. So that might come out.
Tony plays the bumbling idiot. Oh, I thought it was I thought it was an Uber. I got in. No, let's see. I don't know. Tony's not cool. He comes up with an explanation. He's an action news reporter. He goes where the action is.
You fast
He's
talked
got
your
his
way
own-
into a car because you saw the chase was coming.
He's got his own contacts, I guess. I don't know. Tony
think
keeps
too,
he
like,
doesn't
part
want to
of-
reveal his sources. Like he'll
Yeah, I was
tell
just
his
gonna.
boss as little as possible, right?
'Cause I was just gonna say, probably a big part of like action news is like going, in a manner of speaking, like undercover, and like involving yourself in such scenes. So it's
Yes.
probably not like, what were you doing, like a famous news anchor? What were you doing in that car? It's like, that's your job, is to like go and interact with criminals and film action news on the street. So actually, it's probably more than acceptable that you can like bullshit your way into like why you were in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to buy some illegal tech from these guys, and then their dealers chased them or something like that.
I was on the lookout for Africanized elves, and this happened.
I was just out there segregating, and then off we went. Okay.
I milked my work relationship with Nova and Victor. They are very grateful.
Okay, so I guess we can follow up with those two. Nova is not at all at your fault, at least to her knowledge. Is actually probably a little disappointed with the outcome of the gala.
Oh
Because
no!
she went there like under the guise, or not under the guise, like for the purpose of like rubbing elbows with celebrities and like getting hot gossip about like, oh, this person was flirting with that person and this beautiful person was there. But like all the stories that came out of the gala was there was a fucking high stakes card game with this person that she didn't talk to, your risk, she didn't know who the fuck he was. And then there was a bomb went off, so action news kind of dominated the narrative from that gala. So in her eyes, she almost came away like almost empty-handed.
Tony will remember this. He'll offer his condolences, and I mean he made a new contact, so
Yep.
it's just a matter of Tony. Yeah, he'll offer his condolences and say he'll keep an eye out for any interesting contacts.
Yep, she's pleased. Networking is a big part of the game, and making
Mwah.
an able friend is helpful.
I want to make Victor jealous, so he's probably real.
Well, actually, so Victor would contact you, because you may recall, you promised to help Victor with a favor for your hit the
Oh
streak.
yeah.
And I think Victor would contact you, and the gist of his request, because basically the sum total of what you got from Victor was an introduction to Nova. So Victor, you may recall, he has this very elaborate cyber arm that has like 2 arms attached to it, right?
Yeah, so he
It's a,
can drink coffee while he types.
Yep, it is a. It's called a Ganesha, a multi-cyber arm, and he uses it for like for high productivity typing and authoring articles and stuff. So he would explain to you that his contract with T&D only covered 2 pieces of cyberware, which he used on his Ganesha and his librarian cyber goggles. Vincent, you would know, is very career oriented, like very driven. And he has it in his head that he needs to get another Ganesha on his other arm. He wants 4 arms. But his
Oh,
contract,
that's wise, yes.
his D&D contract will not cover this.
Oh.
He thinks he has found a cyber doc that can do it for him, but he needs an introduction. Like, this guy doesn't just like take walk-ins, and he knows you're from this world, so he just wants you to come with him, and just as an action reporter, just vouch for him and get him in the door. He's paying for everything. He needs your in with this Ripper doc, who goes by Copperneck. Will you agree to go with Vincent and basically vouch for him, and maybe flash your press pass or whatever to get him in the door?
Yeah, he'll agree, but then he won't show up, and then he'll come up with some excuse. Tony ends up, he puts money on a race, and ends up at the dog track. I'll give Vic. I kind of want to get Victor upset. So.
What?
I want Victor to get mad. So.
So you're gonna stand him up?
I stand him up.
Okay.
And I come up with a terrible excuse the next day.
Okay. All right, yeah, that happens.
My mind. Sorry, Victor. Next time.
Be aware that you have a -1 ongoing on Hit the Street until you make this right, just so you're aware.
Is that with everyone or just Victor?
It's with everyone, I think. It's all about reputation.
Next time, Victor. It's okay. I'll make it up to you next time.
Okay. Tony doesn't help Victor. And word gets out that he's a little bit of a deadbeat. Which is nothing new, I think. Okay, so did you say you want to make Victor jealous or something too?
I just thought it would be funny if Victor got angry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Tony doesn't help Vincent with his... We can call him Victor. Vincent with his...
Oh, right. Oops.
Yep.
Same thing. It just slipped his mind. Sorry.
Okay. What does Kaiser... Do you have anything just up front, Cody?
I mean, Kaiser would, like, obviously he's a member of the congregation, so he'd go back to doing his congregational duties.
Yeah, and don't feel on the spot.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably just wrap up for all this, and you guys can,
Yeah.
if anything comes up during the week, we can do it before next mission. But if anything right now, go right ahead.
The only other thing I'd want to do in the interim would be after Brett is done with the chalice. And like, because after he's done with the chalice, I want to take it and take the artificers and everything, get it examined and cataloged. And
All right, so you intend to just to deliver the chalice to the congregation.
yes.
Okay, so I guess that hinges on Brett. Is there anything else he does, or are you just waiting to hear back from Eurus?
I would so besides like doing my normal PR stuff that I do with the congregation,
Yeah,
I'd
what's
as well
the
be-
follow-up? Like, I guess you would probably go back and talk to the PR guys, right? Like, how would you explain your what's Kaiser's version of the story? It is like publicly known that your guests like challenged it to a card game and left with the deck, so they probably want to know a lot about that. Like, how do you spin that yarn?
Oh fuck. Okay.
Yeah, there was a room full of witnesses who all eyes were on the card game. That's no secret, and like he was introduced as your +1, the ambassador from the Congress of the Free States of Africa.
Let's see. Could probably be pretty easily proven that he isn't, in fact, the ambassador from the from the states of Africa, huh?
Did he lie to you?
Yes, we'll go with lying. We'll go with deception. I was deceived into believing that that this man was the ambassador. He had all the proper paperwork and everything, and showed up, right place, right time. He looked elfy enough.
Okay.
He fit the bill. Maybe it was some sort of illusion magic.
So I believe
We'll go with illusion magic.
Well, I believe your guise of going to the ball was you want to get the deck like in circles that you have reach to or something like that. So I think
yes.
that was the whole reason, was like they decided they wanted to pass because they're like, this guy's a fucking criminal. But you're like, well, there's artifacts there. I want to get this deck into the fold within reach. You want to like Yeah, you want to like go network with people who own the deck. So this thing was won by your guest. So I guess that is actually probably like a good thing for you.
Yes, it's within my circle of influence. Technically speaking, on all official records. So
Do you want to? Maybe that'll be your homework for the week. Is
yeah.
who
I'll
the
have
fuck
to
is this
come up-
elf that came with you that lied about who he is, but also stole won the deck that we want, and now he has it, presumably. But now you actually don't. It's actually being delivered to your rival, which is fun.
Yeah, but
They don't know that.
now he owes me life debt or something.
You can, yeah, well, that'll be come up with something during the week about what you tell them about your risks.
Oh, I forgot a thing. Yeah, during the week, or I don't know, a short time later, Kaiser gets a delivery at the congregation. It's from Tony.
Does it tick?
Is it?
Yeah, it's a really nice watch. It's worth it's worth 1 cred, and he says to make sure this gets to. He forgot the name. That dwarf that
Torque?
saved us. It saved Tony's life. So.
Oh,
Tony,
we should handle Torque. We should probably handle Torque, huh? We could do that now.
So
But
yeah,
you
well,
get a note in the package with a nice little gift worth like 1 cred, just to give him something.
okay. So you want to spend a cred? So now you're down to 6.
6. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the Torque was going to be next. A lot of this probably handles itself, much to if chagrin is a good word, I forget what chagrin means. So what Torque does, because he may be young, but he's no dum-dum. He was a graduate of the Tech Academy, like he's got a head on his shoulders, and you kind of like barked the plan at him. So what Torque does, after you leave him, you would gather all this like in days following, he would call the police and say he was robbed, and then he would describe the truck, and he basically banked that they would find it, and they did, because like he's calling as a card-carrying member of Congregation of Drak. Like there's some weight behind just being affiliated with Drak and like being in the group. So like it was assigned some amount of priority. And then sure enough, they found the truck with very clear signs of like theft and joyriding. And it was returned to him like some days later.
Good.
Nice.
And yes, Sandala seems to pretty much buy it too, because like everything, like I'm sure like the taser left some mark, so he was literally just like, yeah, I was jumped. I didn't get a good look at him. My car is like really nice looking. I went to the
Some
wrong
Asian
neighborhood.
guy with a taser.
Yep. Some Asian elf took it.
There are Asian elves in this world? I
Oh
thought they were all
shit.
Oh no. At least they're not those oceanic elves. Ugh.
But yeah, Torque, by and large, wraps itself up. If Kaiser wants to make contact with him, he's welcome to. But as far as like taking care of his mom, she's like she seems to have bought it.
Does she invite Tony over?
Oh my god.
Tony?
I'm not that famous yet, I guess.
Yeah, she loves Tony. She can't get enough of that Tony Garoshi. Oh, he's so handsome.
Oh, he's a snappy dresser.
He's such
I
a
just
snack.
love the way his brow sweats.
Um,
when he's broadcasting.
I would presume, because he's a card carrying member, he probably lives somewhere on the campus. I'll go to his home or whatever, and then like drop off Tony's gift, and I'll sneak in a little note under the gift. That says,
Good luck with your career as an operative.
Execute Order 66.
execute Order 66.
And there's
Kill your
a
mother.
pistol
That
with
says-
1 bullet.
You know what to do.
No loose ends. Hail Hydra.
Sorry about stealing your car.
Okay, so you give this in directly. You don't like leave it on this doorstep for his mom.
Oh. Sure, yeah, I put it in his hands.
You make it so he gets it. Okay.
I make so that he gets it.
Okay, so yeah, sorry about
it's-
stealing
he's
your
still-
car.
Is he like 15?
He's
like,
19.
Okay, so he still lives with his
Or
mom,
18, 19. Yeah.
and he still lives with his mom. Just
Yes.
confirming.
He's
Okay.
he's just finishing up. Actually, the car was, as he mentioned, it was actually a gift from the mom for finishing the tech academy. So he like just finished his schooling. Is probably like just about to set out on his own, as it were.
He's just a boy,
hmm
little dwarf boy.
So you just give him a note that basically says thanks. For...
No, and then I'll say, we'll make sure to include you on our next operation, junior operative. And then it's
Slash
a little.
Inquisitor.
Does it come with a badge?
A little sheriff
Yeah,
badge.
I'll
Slash-
throw it a little. I'll throw it a little shitty plastic badge. that it said sheriff, and I scribbled over it with like a sharpie, and it just says junior operative.
Does Kaiser have that kind of sense of humor, or does he really do that?
Yeah, sure, that's funny. I'd do that.
Okay.
Kaiser would do that.
Yeah. He's,
I feel like Kaiser does it like completely unironically.
Right.
Like he definitely thinks that this is the like not funny in any sort of way, and he's completely serious.
Then Kaiser hands him a pair of dice, and he's
yeah, and inside is a 4 and a 3, whatever that does. Oh,
It gives him a +1.
oh,
yeah, so I think you drop that off, and then days later you might pass each other somewhere on the campus, and like you get like a nod.
A knowing wink.
Yep. And yeah, Torque is in the fold now. You have a very capable driver with a kitted out.
Oh
truck here to
no! I've
Goes
just
around showing
recruited-
the
I've
badge to
just.
everyone.
Oh, I guess he was already indoctrinated. I was gonna say I just indoctrinated youth.
serve. He's already in the church.
Yeah, he's already been indoctrinated.
Okay.
It's too late for him.
Cool. Yeah. So anything else that Kaiser gets up to? Just the top of your head, that is.
Nope. I believe that is all I've got.
Okay. Probably a few things for Eurus. So, what does Eurus go and do in the days following the mission?
Pretty much immediately after I head to the college,
Mm-hmm.
I seek out my good friend Gabriel Gage.
Gage?
Yep.
Are you just delivering the chalice, or what is the exact... 'Cause
Well,
as I recall
imagine
now,
that-
the chalice has
I
been
imagine-
promised to multiple parties at this point, so...
Well, no, I'm not delivering the chalice to him, but I brought it up to him as an aspect of study with me
Oh,
at
okay.
the college.
That's right, yeah, you were like, I'm going after this for me. So that was yours, right?
Yeah, I brought up that DeWitt stole the chalice and that he is not an artificer or someone that actually
Yeah.
what's it called, like recognizes the importance and brilliance of these artifacts like
I
we
think
are.
what Gage mentioned to you, too, is he used it as bait to get to it. To
You
suss
cut
out.
out.
I believe Gage actually explained to you in the past that he actually used the chalice as bait to like suss out DeWitt.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, so you take it there to study it and touch base with Gage?
Yeah, I mostly bring it there to study it. If Gage is there, then I will
Yeah.
talk to him. If he is not, then
Yeah, I
I'm
think,
not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, so there's definitely like kind of how we described when Cody first visited Sandala. Artifacts, like, they are cataloged, like they are of interest. And I think we kind of agree that like there'll be two types of artifacts, like there'll be greater and lesser artifacts, or something along those lines, where greater ones like have a unique property and like have a task, like they can do a thing. And then the lesser ones are kind of like, as the book describes, like you just consume them to use your spells, which at
Okay.
the moment nobody in this party actually needs. So yeah, the chalice is definitely a greater artifact, and
Okay.
you could probably touch base with Gage on this. And this kind of fits in what Gage told you. What you probably learn in like the coming days about it is its power is the unique, like very unique energy that it gives off, such that like it makes a very good tracking item. And that's probably like how Gage used it to track this guy. Is the fact that like anybody who's like trying to attune for this thing, it lets off like a very distinctive, like, I don't know, like whatever the nebulous word you want to use, like signal or pattern or energy. such that like basically like whoever has this thing like can be tracked if somebody's looking for it, like if somebody's sniffing it out.
Gotcha.
And in that lies its power, and that like not all artifacts fit that bill. A lot more like other artifacts require like more traditional methods of tracking. Like the deck like actually had to be like tracked down like with detective work. This thing can be like sniffed out by trained artificers and mages.
Gotcha.
I think if you interact with Gage 2, there would be a very brief moment where he would just like, in that like knowing like, oh, we're so smart, would probably just like say to you, or there's probably like a moment where like you're like sitting at a table and he like kind of comes up behind you and just like says from behind you like, and why won't we be doing business with Mr. DeWitt?
I imagine he's quite upset with the outcome of the game. He didn't seem too pleased once he had lost.
True, but he lost to Eurys, the independent attendee. Why will the university not be doing business with Mr. Gage? Sorry, Mr. DeWitt.
Yeah. I think it's probably in the best interest of the university to actually seek out those with resources that are more conventionally acquired. Those that are stolen really don't hold any real value. At least to honest mages, like I'm sure the ones working here claim to be.
Yeah, I think there's like a pause and say yes in a manner of speaking. Your intentions were known but not spoken. Despite that, you were forthcoming. Mr. DeWitt, not so much. The Academy is willing to play ball so long as everybody knows the rules and is willing to play by them. DeWitt is clearly not willing to do so.
I'm glad that you guys were able to snuff that out as easily as... he met Kaiser, right?
I don't think he ever
was
actually Kaiser was present, but I don't think he ever actually talked to him. But yes.
Okay. I'm glad that you guys were able to figure that out as quickly as I was. It seems that we have quite a few things in common. I turned to him.
What's that?
It seems like we're able to recognize people's weaknesses rather quickly. And DeWitt, as accomplished as he may be, was not short on weaknesses.
I count only one, to be honest. Denial. He's a capable thief, a capable investor, capable businessman. He just came up short on one hand of cards and was not willing to speak with me frankly. It takes a certain level of self-awareness to do what we do, and he lacks that. But to be frank, only that.
I'd actually wager that overconfidence is his biggest downfall. He failed to acknowledge that his opponents might actually be capable of beating him. And therein lies the true reason that he lost. He was unprepared.
Genuine confidence and the career of a gambler don't usually mesh well. But I'm sure we'll... and then he probably stops and smiles. Given the outcome of the evening, I'm sure we'll have no shortage of opportunities to get to know Mr. DeWitt more personally.
Oh, I have no doubts. Especially after what happened to his henchman that he sent after me.
I'll just use my imagination.
I smile at him and close my... I close my eyes with a smile on my face, and then I turn back to the chalice and say, I'll continue studying the chalice for the time being, but also I kind of throw open the right side of my cape and I pull
Ah! Put your dick away!
I pull out the ace of spades and I hold it between my pointer finger and my middle finger, and say, "I will also be studying this."
Well, that's quite the memento.
Yes, it seems that the situation that my accomplice and I were able to, I guess, work our way into at the negotiation table actually led us to having this treat. And I kind of like turn it around to show him like the face of the card, and it's the ace of spades.
Hmm.
Well, that should certainly keep our artificers busy. Do you have any plans for it?
I'll look into it tomorrow, but I turn to him. How long are you going to be in the city?
As long as they need me, and in my experience, that tends to mean indefinitely.
I nod and say, because I'd actually like your help acquiring the rest of the deck.
Oh, do tell.
I hand him the note that the guy wrote down. It's been a few days. I'm sure they've noticed that the ace of spade is missing, and I'm sure that they would want it back. After all, a full deck, an incomplete deck is completely worthless. And if I am to understand the rules of the deck of Emerald Horrors, is that it's technically still mine, so I doubt it's bending to their will. Studying it, I'm sure, is very difficult.
Did we declare? I thought we just declared that the deck wanted, like, he who possessed the deck, like, couldn't turn down a challenge or something like that.
Yeah, we could do that.
I don't
That's up
think
to
we
you,
ever said,
Cody.
like, it's bound to you now or some shit.
I feel like Eurus might just assume this because he's
Oh.
very overconfident.
Okay.
Yeah.
You really want to go back to the well so fast? Word spreads fast in this city, and I imagine the buyers know how you got it for them.
Well, let's hear what your recommendation would be. Should I lay low? Because they'll be hunting me. Of that I am certain.
Who, DeWitt?
Whoever is in, well, DeWitt and whoever is in.
Oh,
control
sorry.
of-
Jeff is just catching up. The people who are missing the deck.
Yeah.
No, they will. But I believe that you have some. If I understand the situation correctly, there's a middleman now, is there not?
I nod.
So it seemed that's his fire to put out.
You're onto something. I hadn't really given it that much thought. So you think he's actually going to?
Does
Send
Gage
him
know,
to-
like, about the whole... Did you, like, kind of give him the abbreviated, like, double cross story?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Seems
Yeah.
to me that he went to a great length of trouble to get this arrangement in place. And he would stand to lose more than he would gain by giving you up right away.
I see. So you think it best that he come to me?
I think it's best that he comes to you if he comes to you. A man like that might not even stand to be bothered.
I nod and say, I'll listen to your advice for the time being. You've been in the game a lot longer than I have.
Hmm. As for you getting the rest of the deck, you could try and pull the same trick twice, but anyone who's been wrong long enough would probably tell you that's a bad idea. Perhaps you could take a more conventional approach.
I kind of like raise my head and say, conventional.
I think he would probably like, we'll say there's like a paperweight on the desk, and he'll just like pick it up and like chuck it at a like glass case and just shatter the glass.
I see.
Yep, and then he just kind of shrugs. It's a big city with a lot of moving parts. You can make a little noise now and then.
I nod. And say, well, I do appreciate the advice. We'll see what I come up with.
I think he nods and like kind of like pats you on the shoulder and walks away as like some poor janitor starts cleaning up the glass case.
I go back to. I put the card back in my cape, and I go back to researching the chalice.
Cool. Did you want to think? Oh, I guess so. This is kind of like a question for like the whole group. Like through what channels and to what extent do you guys kind of like keep your finger on the pulse of like of operatives and jobs and reputations and stuff like that?
For the shadowy underworld, or
Yeah, or at least like your like universe too. I guess what I'm getting at is like, so DeWitt is not just gonna sit idle. Like he's gonna make some moves. This is information that we'll get back to you. I'm just trying to like let's suss out like how would this information get back to you. That DeWitt is making moves.
Tony works at a news station, I guess. So if anything is newsworthy,
Okay.
there's that, and I guess he's got his Yakuza contract. If ever something is specifically out for Tony, there's an arrangement that he,
Okay.
might get a heads up.
Tony's actually the one name that's probably not included, is the thing. Because you might recall he was like completely under the table, dealing with Lilix and erasing the footage. So it'd really be Kaiser and Eurist that are kind of like on his radar.
Well, what about the story I brought to him, to my boss? Am I on the DeWitt case now, or do I get reassigned to gang shootings? And
Oh no, yeah. If you birth a story, you can write it until you no longer need to or want to.
I'll keep an eye on DeWitt. So yeah, Tony'll. That's how Tony's gonna get some info. He'll keep some feelers out.
Okay, so yeah, Tony is taking up an interest in DeWitt, and it's very fitting too. Like DeWitt just made a lot of headlines with this gala turned attack, and the big piece of news that surfaces up through various sources and like informants is that DeWitt has gone to a fixer and enlisted himself a hunter to come after, to look into Eurist number 1, and then number 2 was his host, Kaiser.
I'm a card-carrying member of the Congregation of Drak. I do not have to put up with this.
Well, it's a hunter. They're not approaching you. They're sitting in inconspicuous sedans with complete impunity to being detected and spying. And yes, this hunter, he goes by the name of Colt Waters.
First name Colt.
Yep.
Cold Waters.
I pull up his file, and Tony keeps an eye out, but I don't think he sends word to either of his other two guys, because I mean.
Yeah, and getting on Colt's tail would be like I don't know, like it's a hunter, like it's Smith. So like, it's just tracking down a hunter is like no easy task.
You need a hunter to chase down a hunter.
Yeah. Or a really, really enthusiastic security guard.
Yes.
You go and hire McCluskey to chase down Cold Waters.
I go stand in the food court in front of the camera till it stops on me.
I miss McCluskey.
He was so great.
And oh, this could be fun. So Kaiser, how does Kaiser get his This is very juicy. How does Kaiser... I know we've talked about it before, and I apologize if you're just repeating yourself, But Kaiser's dealings like in and around the congregation of Drak, like when he's on the clock, like who is he kind of interacting with and what is he doing?
So Kaiser is a personality. Kaiser is kind of the congregation's personality, if you will. He goes to galas, he goes to parties, PR events. You know, if someone needs to be the spokesperson for the congregation's new racing dog.
Okay.
He's not giving sermons or, you know, stuff like that.
Okay. So I think then you probably deal with the PR people a whole lot.
Yes.
And this probably isn't really even too dramatic. Just at some point, word gets left on your desk because this is overwhelmingly of interest to Kaiser that the congregation. Yeah, so this is privileged information because, as you know, the hiring of operatives is like the whole purpose is to like get a disposable asset or a deniable asset to do something for you, and somebody deems it necessary to advise you that the congregation has contracted DeWitt to run jobs for them.
DeWitt is running jobs for us?
Yes. Asset or artifact acquisition is like an ever-present thing that corps and organizations are doing. And despite the fact that DeWitt was rather promptly embarrassed in his home security, that nevertheless did not reflect at all poorly on his ability to acquire artifacts. He stole this thing, and he stole it fucking well. And as far as the congregation's concerned, that's all they care about. Like, how poorly he defends the own shit in his own house is his business, but if they steal shit and deliver it to him, done deal. So,
right.
Yeah, like, the fact that he got this thing, and the fact that, I think the cat's out of the bag, he originally was stealing it for Other Works International, Drak's competitor. So they're like, fuck it, we're just gonna buy this guy up. So they reached out to DeWitt with a fixer, and now they have him planning jobs for them.
Most curious.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be taking your office.
Yeah, you go in, he's just sitting there.
He's there.
It's a double. It's like there's now 2 desks in there.
So
I'm your new partner.
So again, this isn't like a memo goes out to fucking everybody. This is like a friend from within the congregation tipped you this information because like there's a guy that like might want to kill you who's kind of like working for us now.
I don't know why you'd want to kill me. I've done nothing wrong.
You should assign a junior inquisitor to
Yeah. So yeah, that's DeWitt. Does Eurys do anything involving Dr. Powell and the Black Site?
Yep. That's what I was going to bring up.
So what's all that?
How are we going to handle this in terms of time allotment? Because he wants me to take some equipment from there, correct?
Yes. So he has basically given you 2 targets within the Lake Michigan Rift Black Site. He wants you to recover his old research data, which is stored like on a server farm, and it would just be like you would need to actually like lift the entire device, the entire like storage drive. And he wants you to acquire his it's called Rosetta, and it's like a very large like tank-like attachment that would go to his dream sequencer chair. So basically, like he needs you to acquire 2 pieces of equipment from this Black Site, which would definitely entail like maybe you can prove me wrong, but this would probably be like a job for a team. If you want to just hire muscle explicitly for this, like infiltrators and specialists, we could like conduct an operation. Or inversely, if you want to somehow talk Tony and Kaiser into this, it could be like a full-on mission that we play out. So I guess if you can decide how you'd like to approach this. To tell you a little bit about the black site, it is on the water. It is a like floating research facility. It's like on like a city boat almost. Like these like giant pontoons that are like acres in size, with like just a full facility on it. What you would know of this black site is it is like rather viciously guarded, because that is where the actual rift is. So, Miskatonic Amalgamated, like it is guarded with, for lack of a description, like lethal force. So this will not be as simple as like a smash and grab or anything like that.
Okay.
This will require like no small amount of planning and probably some like specialists. You're welcome to try it alone. I don't know how far you'll get, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I had expected it to be like a solo task, like not super heavily guarded. But if that is the case,
Yeah.
I don't think Kaiser, Tony, and Yuris are even equipped to do something like this, really.
Mhm.
So I'll hire out.
Okay. So you probably need to go to a fixer then, to get a team, and basically like you can like quarterback an operation.
Is Jiffy Jeff a fixer?
Jiffy Jeff is a fixer.
I go to Jiffy Jeff. He's the only fixer I know.
Okay, so yeah, so yeah, I think you would like lay it out that you want to get a team to hit a black site, and I think Jiffy Jeff, the impression you get, because your wrist seems quite adept at reading people, is that this is. So I think Jiffy Jeff told you that the gala was like the biggest contract he'd ever done. So if you come to him like the next day and you're like, I want to hit one of the most like securely guarded destinations in the city. He's Jiffy Jeff is a creative, if honest individual. He's definitely up for it, but I think the vibe you would get is that this is a little bit outside of his league, but he'll give it his damnedest. Do you want to go forward with Jiffy Jeff?
I will give Jiffy Jeff 2 cred. I'll tell him to take his time to establish the best possible group of people
Okay.
to get the 2 devices that I need. I tell him the 2. How they're achieved, or how they're acquired, I don't care.
Okay.
So that would be up to the people that he hires.
So
I
two-part.
just need them safely.
So two-part question to that: is the 2 cred to fund the operation, or 2 cred to pay Jiffy Jeff to put the team together?
Pay Jiffy Jeff.
Because I was gonna say, like, you guys usually get paid like 3 to 6 cred when you stake it.
Yeah.
So.
I'll pay Jiffy Jeff 2 cred to
Just
kind of like
just to be your fixer. It's like his retainer.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's cool. So I'll play with that over the week then. We'll see how that goes.
And I basically just tell him to like take his time, make sure he establishes the strongest team that he possibly can for this particular.
Yeah, you're gonna play the role of the guy that hires the fixer. Is Eurus actually gonna go on the mission?
Yuris, I'll say he can.
Okay, I think for the sake of like making the game interesting, it's probably a lot cooler if like you're there and making decisions and stuff.
Yeah,
But I think
would
it'll
to,
like
sure.
yeah.
If
I
it
think
doesn't,
failing like
hold
a
up
big
everything.
part, like short of a like huge failure on Jiffy Jeff's part, like yeah, I think we'll have a like you'll get yourself like a team of badasses and we'll play it out next week.
Cool.
How that goes.
Yeah, I'll definitely go then, and then I will alert Dr. Powell that a group is being established now, and it may take some time.
Yeah, the
because-
balls are in the air, as they say.
Yep.
And then do you also begin planning to strike other works, or are you going to like give that some time to cool down?
I'm going to adhere to Gage's advice. Give it some time to cool down.
Mhm.
See if
Yeah, the
in-
deck is a very hot commodity right now, so hitting them the next day might be a bit exciting.
yeah. So I'll give it some time to cool down, and I'll keep my ear to the ground about like any happenings with people, even like talking about the gala, what happened there, and then like what like gossip they've heard about the the groups at play, I guess.
Cool. Yes. Well, we'll see like what news comes up of DeWitt in the deck. I think it goes without saying that Kaiser would. Yeah. So I think Tony would have relayed, right, Russell, that you guys are all being hunted now.
Uh,
Or do you keep that to yourself that he hired a
I thought
hunter?
Tony kept it to himself.
I was gonna say Tony probably does keep it to himself because
Okay.
he knows that the two other guys are, they're kind of in a different league than Tony. They probably have their own ways of finding this out.
Okay.
However, I guess if they contact Tony, then he would share this info, but he won't unless they're on an operation together. He probably won't reach out to them.
Okay. I think in the interest of like keeping things interesting, yeah. It'll get back to Kaiser and Yuris as well. Through which channels you can kind of like suss out on your own. But yeah, like DeWitt is not taking this lying down, and he has hired a fairly reputable hunter, Colt Waters, to look into you two specifically. So you can do with that knowledge what you will, but there is now there's a trained person looking into you guys. That said, just to kind of like highlight the functionality of the clocks, he is still at 1 tick on the clock. And yeah, like it's not till the clock hits midnight, then like, oh no, he's here to like he blows up your car and is here to shoot. Like that happens at like a full clock. So he's presumably like a long ways from actually like striking back or anything like that. But he is like that ball is now in motion, so you can just be aware of that. And as you guys make noise on other missions, that may expedite that clock going up.
At 3 ticks, he takes his hat and stomps on it.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the long and short of the first mission.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah. I didn't get to use I could have. I forgot to use my press pass.
Oh yeah, what is it to get is it a forward to get in somewhere you're not supposed to be?
No, it just lets you in, but you reveal your public persona, so like everyone knows that Tony Garoshi, Action News reporter, is there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you couldn't have just been party goer number 7 then.
Yeah, and it's in official capacity too, so if I use it irresponsibly, I guess it gets back to my boss. I don't want to get my press pass revoked.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. So, Cody,
That's me.
Kaiser destroyed a company vehicle.
Kaiser, no, it was. It was.
Do you spin that, or do you? You could...
Oh yeah, it was destroyed in a terrible accident. A car ran a red light and T-boned us. It'll be covered under the insurance.
Yeah, here's the video.
Here's the
it was
video.
on Action
We have,
News, remember?
yeah, we have video of it.
So you show video of armed men sticking their guns in the side of the car. See, it was a horrible accident.
We strategically crop it so it's edited. It's edited down.
Let's say that'll cost you 1 cred in favors to smooth over.
I will agree.
Yeah. Okay, so I now have credit.
One to replace the driver.
So now I have. Tell me if this is wrong, but I have credit 7, 7, and 6, with Tony having 6.
Correct.
I gave 2 to.
Oh right, you paid 2 for Jiffy Jeff, so
Yeah,
you're down to
so I'm
5.
at 5.
Okay.
Tony loses a cred gambling. That's his gambling stake, and he gambles till he loses it all.
Does he? Should he and Yuris gamble? Are they gambling buddies?
Oh yeah, I should have
No,
gambled
Tony,
that
you're
one
not
cred you
supposed to
gave me.
play your cards like that.
Okay. So after one mission, only Kaiser is up 2 cred. Everyone else is back where they started.
Back where we started, Tony sighs as his dog loses another race at the dunes. Tears off his gambling ticket.
You gotta bet on the congregation's dog. We never
It's not
lose.
listed.
Do we do XP?
Tony always bets on the same dog.
Yes, forgot that. So everybody has 5 XP flat from the mission. You ticked every objective. And yeah, we can, any directives you feel you hit, we can talk about.
I didn't hit any of mine.
I don't think I did either.
Oh yeah, and your trauma will cure or whatever.
Did
The shortcomings one.
hindering the mission to learn about the rifts, would you say stealing a card would do that or not?
Yeah, let's take that because there's gonna be blowback for sure.
Cool.
That'll come next week, but we'll just proactively give you that XP now.
Did I ignore my own shortcomings?
I don't think so.
Do I lose this now? I do,
Yes, everything goes
Okay.
away. I don't think so
That
because
one arm we all
you didn't actually establish any shortcomings yet.
right? Yeah.
That's like a Russell behavior right there. It's like, here's how my character's flawed. Here's how it's getting you killed. Like, did Kaiser or Tony have any directives? I don't think.
No, mine are financial and networking for persona non grata, which I didn't call on this time. I have a cool way to call on them. It's when I do an action news broadcast. The like agreed upon signal is I'll show my press pass during the broadcast, and that like tips them off that something's up.
Like, in my capacity as a reporter for Action News, you hold up your little name tag. I'm bringing you
Tony
the truth.
Hiroshi reporting, and when he shows his press pass, that means the persona non grata needs to listen up because something's going down.
So they all get their billy clubs and get in their news van and come looking for you.
I'll get on their devices and start blogging.
Okay, I didn't hit anything. Unless you would describe me making the man give me a blood handshake as persuading others to act according to my beliefs.
I think that was you persuaded him to act in his best interest and his beliefs. So I think no, you didn't.
Damn it.
I think that's like a pusher directive right there.
Yeah, that was some coercion.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, I think we're all wrapped up then. Unless anyone has any other pressing business they'd like to attend to. And like I said, if anything comes up during the week, like things you want to do between missions, well, you can do it before the next one starts.
Cool.
Excellent.
We killed the politician, whose name was originally Trump.
Ronald Frump, I think.
Oh, terrible.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna write him in. I don't want Ronald Frump. I think it was even Donald. It was Donald Frump. I was like, no, we're not doing Donald Frump.
We didn't even kill him.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true.
you're a new contact, dude.
Our hands are clean.
Our contact whose name we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. House.
Oh fuck, we forgot to get his name.
His name will be revealed to us shortly, Kaiser. Worry not.
You'll be hearing from him in short order.
That's fine.
When he calls and yells at me because he didn't get all of his cards. We're like,
When he ends up dead in Cody's apartment. Or where does Kaiser? You probably have like a suite at the congregation.
Kaiser sleeps on the altar of Drak.
Yeah, probably.
Sleep in a bloodbath.
Big demonic statue.
I think
above him.
the clock for Elan will probably go up a tick. Since rather publicly assaulted one of their members on the street, like unapologetically.
I kept him alive. And their other members.
But yeah, it's being reported back on. And Russell, I added a tick to the noise for DeWitt's thing in response to the first one where the thing was misinterpreted by the public or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because I think what happened there is like you were in the gala, like reporting shit was going down, and then like the African.
Oh no, the Africanized elf art thieves are getting mixed up with the DeWitt expose.
Yeah, because I think you were trying to spin that.
That's
yeah.
fine. The first one was the panic thing to get out, or the second one was to get out of there.
Yeah.
First one was just good news. Yeah, reporter's tricky. I got some stuff I want to do next time.
Some tricks up your sleeve.
Oh yes, Tony is feeling the rush of success. He's gonna be feeling bold and sweating even more.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Tony
Oh, you
advancing.
have to get those sweat glands removed.
Yeah, there's a cybernetic for that.
He's got cybernetic sweat glands.
Wait, where's that
Yeah, extra sweat.
cybernetics list that I found that can make you look like James Bond or something, or is that for Cyberpunk 20?
I think you're thinking of Cyberpunk 2020,
Damn
where
it.
you could get like a penis implant and something.
Yeah, you can get like a masks of like other people.
Yeah, 2020 was fucking ridiculous.
Yes, I would like one Cyberpunk penis enlargement.
It's called like a Mr. Pleasure or something like that.
Ugh.
Yeah.
All right, good game, everyone. I must depart.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I gotta.
Hail,
Cody, thanks for betraying yesterday.
hail, Hydrock. Hydrock.
Hail Hydrock.
It's a real mouthful.
He has a lot to learn.
That was fun. Goodbye.
So yeah.
Goodbye.